Hi everyone, it's John Galante, president of AE Ventures, here with another Builder Innovator Closer Look. Today our closer look is at Resideo, and I'm joined by JD Wix, who is the Director of Vertical Markets, and most applicably for our audience, he's the head guy on the builder and multifamily partnerships out there. JD, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's kick off with a little bit of an about Resideo, if you will. Tell us a little bit about the company's origins, its size, stature, what it does, that sort of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so it's we have a little bit of a history. So most people still recognize us as Honeywell from that brand. So we did a spin with Honeywell a few years back. So we were essentially the residential focused part of Honeywell. And as we spun off, we became a separate company that focused on residential products and solutions, right? So we're today about a $7 billion company, so pretty sizable, and we really
$7 billion, folks. Okay, this is not chopped liver. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we do focus on small to medium business as well, but obviously residential is a huge part of what we do. So most people know us as, I would say, a house of brands, right? So although the parent company is Resideo, we typically market as either Honeywell Home when it comes to our comfort products, or First Alert when it comes to security, smoke, and carbon monoxide detection. So that's really, as we go to market, as kind of a house of brands in that way.
Yeah, you're a house of brands, but you're a technology company. You guys are a technology innovator, have been for years, right, in terms of being a manufacturer.
Right.
But so let's walk through some of those products that are the most applicable for home builders and multifamily companies. Kind of take those realms separately if you can.
Okay. Yeah, so we focus on several categories which are relevant to home builders, and the real thought there is if you can get these products into a new home, right, it's a lot easier to do them right and set them up right and make the home really work for the homeowner the proper way. So in home building, or what we call residential new construction, our primary focus is typically around that comfort category, which is inclusive of your thermostats, smart thermostats. We also are really big into the indoor air quality space. So it's a big topic now with Energy Star and the way homes are built, but energy recovery ventilators, dehumidifiers, steam humidifiers, ventilators,
whole
things like
dehumidifiers.
whole home, right? So yeah, exactly. That would work with your, or in addition to your normal HVAC system, right? So depending on the climate you're in, those are essential to make the home, live well, get the moisture out, breathe correctly, and also avoid some of those problems you can have in markets that are really high with humidity and things like that, right? So. Outside of that, we are a very large security company, so that's a big focus for us. And security spans kind of across your smart home products as well. And then we are also very big in life safety and water. And life safety is a little bit different than security, because as we talk about that in the new construction space, it's primarily around your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors and those detectors that have to go in by code. And then the innovation around those products, right? So how do we make those things smart where they don't just make noise on the ceiling, but when something happens, it notifies you, the homeowner. And then the water side is big as well, because water is becoming scarce in some parts. So we do a few things there. Our primary goal in water and new construction is to mitigate leaks. So we do shut off, we do spot leak detection. We're working on a newer valve with AI in it, or machine learning, that will do the sensing, which we had a product like that before. But we also own Brockman out of Germany, which is a very large hydronics manufacturer, right? So when you get to places who use water-controlled heating and things like that, we're big into that space, but not as much in new construction. When it comes to multifamily, a lot of those same products are applicable, but really there's kind of a different subset of software that's used in multifamily, which a lot of people refer to as property tech software. So we do the same products, but we generally open up our cloud APIs to those third-party software companies. So for instance, our thermostats can be controlled when a unit is vacant, or our leak detection units can send an alert to the right people in maintenance so they can mitigate a hot water heater from dripping and ruining several units below that. So smoke and CO detectors, leak detection, shut off, thermostats are our primary products in those multifamily.
And you guys are a market share leader in many of these categories, right? Like thermostats. I mean, everybody has seen the old Honeywell round thermostats,
exactly.
but I mean, talk a little bit about that, because I think like the level of penetration is not always obvious. Some of that's about the name change, right? From Resideo to Honeywell, but some of these categories, you're the clear market leader, right?
I mean, thermostats are probably the most obvious because they're in every home and they're typically visible, and it's something every homeowner interacts with, and we are a market leader there. A lot of people don't realize this, but a thermostat has to work correctly. So we're very good at...
They don't anymore these days because there's a lot that don't, but go ahead.
So we're very good at the mechanical or the science side of that, right? Our thermostats just work very well. As the times have changed, all of our thermostats have become smart, right? And smart means different things to different people. But we have apps and ecosystems that these things reside in, and really it's about making the home work right for the homeowner, depending on how they want to interact with it. So not everybody's going to open an app and use that to change their temperature, but being able to do things with those thermostats when you are coming home, leaving, things like that are super.
So you guys have been doing stats since stats were invented, basically, right? I mean, it's over 100 years, I think, 130 years or something. Some of the other comfort categories, like the ERVs and HRVs, that's newer, right? Or
no, it comes from our Honeywell days, right? So we're a big controls company, so we've always done that. I would say it's probably not as well known because it's not in front of your face. So things like zoning for your HVAC, we're huge into that, and the IEQ products. But they're up in the attic or in the crawl space or in the basement, so they're probably not in front of your face.
So you guys are deeply penetrated in those categories and have mature product lines there.
Yes. We do have a very strong legacy in security, right? It's near and dear to my heart. That's where I came from. So we have every type of panel or solution. And obviously security has become kind of the benchmark or the starting point for a lot of smart home solutions, right? So our apps are really important, but really, security is about protecting what matters most. It's about protecting property and family and those things, and that's what we really kind of thrive on that and really design our products around that. And
So talk about product development, right? Because when you're around for decades, there's like product development from VC-funded startups and like, something comes to market real fast, it's going to disrupt. But it really, when you have a legacy and deep penetration and a customer base, you have a different approach to product development. There's a whole hell of a lot more due diligence and testing that goes into it, right? Can you summarize the company's approach to that?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, John. I would say that when you have a legacy and you're deeply penetrated, you have to listen to your customers differently. So we've got such a large portfolio of products today in different categories. I think sometimes we think we know what people want and we don't listen. So we really had to adjust that, especially going through a spin and becoming essentially a really big startup, right? We had to listen to our customers better. So if you look at what we have introduced here recently, we've taken what builders have told us, around smart home, right? And we introduced last year an app called First Alert, which takes all these smart components that we make today and gives them an environment to live in and work for the homeowner without having to have a security system, right? So if you want security, there's a path to that, but there's ways to make all these things work outside of that as well. So we kind of listened to our builders, we listened to our other customers and started to look at product development from, hey, what are our customers looking for? What can we do to make the home better, make it live better, and just be more sustainable?
Right.
We have thousands of engineers working on not just new products, but how do we make those existing products better? And like I mentioned earlier, now we make great hardware, right? Great products, but in order to make those better, you have to have great software. So a lot of our time has also been spent on developing the firmware and the software that makes those products better, right? So thousands of people across the country, multiple markets, and it's just a huge focus for us going forward. We have more new product releases this year than I've seen in the last 6 years of being here. So great time here, and really excited about all those new products.
Is there anything that you could talk about in particular on the new product side of things?
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at our thermostats, like you mentioned earlier, we have a great legacy of thermostats, but we started last year redeveloping our entire line. So we released the first 4 thermostats in our new family. We have what we call an Elite Pro thermostat releasing here in August, which is really exciting. So probably the most aesthetically pleasing thermostat we've ever released, maybe other than the old round one that you talked about earlier. But So really excited about that. And it's not just the thermostat and the aesthetics, it's the technology in it, right? It's got features in it that allow you to monitor your indoor air quality, radar for knowing what's going on in the home, just really, really good features, as well as the ability to operate multiple pieces of equipment from a single device, right? So if you put in a dehumidifier, how do you make that work the right way versus just running it all the time?
Yeah, and you guys, because of your deep penetration and long history, when you've got controls like thermostats, they work with all different kinds of systems, right? And that's part of the benefit of working with a company like Resideo.
Yeah, we love to remain agnostic, so we like our products to be open. Plus, the consumer likes that too, right? So if they want to use this flavor of thermostat, they can use it. We make our thermostats very easy to change out as well. So if you see our products, they use a common backplate. So if I'm a homeowner, I can literally pull my thermostat off the wall, pop a new one on without touching a wire. So very easily upgradable and scalable as well.
Cool. Let's talk about how you partner with single-family home builders. I mean, what's your process? What are your process supports too? This is a question that I often ask. It's like, you could have the right product, but if you don't have the right process supports, it doesn't work for the builder. So what does that family of supports look like?
So this is near and dear to me, right? So I look at it as a push-pull process, or because at the end of the day, if the homeowner's not happy, then nobody's happy, right? So I have a team of 8 people across the country who are dedicated to our builder accounts. So they focus on key accounts across the country to make sure that builders know about the products, but also what's going on in the market and things like that. On top of that, we've got hundreds of people across the country, which are local representatives that call on our distributors and contractors. So what we like to do is really take care of the builder, take care of the division level as well as the national level. And then we educate our teams across the country who work with the contractors so they know what's going on. So if we're working with, let's say, Lennar or D.R. Horton or those guys in an area, we want our teams that are local to know exactly what's happening so they can best support those guys. That way, at the end of the day, the customer is happy.
So let's get just a little more granular. Sales and marketing support. I mean, what kind of asset base do you have for builders to help tell the story of the features and benefits that they're obtaining through your products?
Yeah, so I have dedicated people for our residential new construction business that focus on digital assets and other things to make sure that builders have the ability to take our product and technology and communicate that out to the field, right? Yeah. So we do a really good job with my team of educating the national purchasing people, but it's sometimes hard to get that message down to the different divisions and the guys in the field. So we like to create kind of digital toolkits that include all the material that would be relevant to, let's say, this new thermostat coming out, right? We want everybody to know why it's a benefit. So we create those digital assets and we allow builders to disseminate that down to the right people. Yep. But we also have channel marketing and category marketing, which are really important because we do so many different products, right? We really have to represent the category correctly, the channel that it's going to influence, and then how we bring that all together.
Okay, so builder trade partners. So you have a big authorized network of dealer, installer, contractors. Talk to that a little bit, the size and strength of those folks in terms of their ability to partner with builders.
Yeah, so that's another big one, right? So we have thousands of distributors, right? So we have to really support the distributors because we have to have the right products in the right market. And I knock on wood when I say this, but we did a really good job through the COVID crisis where a lot of people didn't because we have such a good supply chain. Okay. So we're able to get products out and get them into all of our distributors. We also, Resideo owns ADI, which is a huge low voltage distributor, so that helps as well with logistics on the low voltage products and things like that. So we support those distributors, to every extent we can, and then we have just, again, thousands of certified contractors and security integrators across the country as well. So that's what our local reps do day in and day out, is they're out there in the field with those teams.
And if a builder likes their current contractor and they aren't carrying Resideo or the specific product that the builder would like to put in, what kind of ability do you have to train that?
So good question.
Existing sub.
Yeah, so we have dedicated trainers, so we can do that in person. We also have something called Resideo University, which is a very detailed library of online training that that the dealer or integrator can do at their own pace, right? So we typically get them started right away with doing some of those digital trainings, and then we schedule field training and have our techs go out and actually do in-person training. Right. And then we do trainings across the country all the time in different distributors. So we're at Ferguson and Johnstone and all these guys doing training. So any contractor or even the distributors can attend those and get education on those products.
Cool. And then finally, on the process supporting the owner, the operators, the users of this, like what does that look like? How do you make sure that electronics, we want to make them as reliable as possible, but they get used a lot.
Right.
And so there's going to be user error or whatever. They get worn out.
Right.
How are you supporting the ownership experience so that builders aren't getting callbacks, builders aren't realizing Net Promoter Score degradation because of their stuff?
Yeah, so that's something we have to do well, right? So we have dedicated support for every level through the supply chain. So we have support for our distributors, we have support for contractors, and then for the end user as well. So depending on who's calling in, they go to the right spot, and we have specialists that take care of those, right? So if there is an issue, we mitigate it right away. But in order to be effective and successful, especially in the builder space, you have to do that well. So we spend a lot of energy and a lot of time and money on support, right? It's a huge deal for us.
You guys are easy to find. It's resideo.com. What's your email address?
James.wix, W-I-X, @resideo.com.
Okay. Hey, thanks for spending some time with us. It was great to learn more.
Thank you.
Good luck.